This evening, movement calls on citizens to reject parking meters. Mayor incensed. Find out how the decentralization of citizenship services aided many. Georgetown City Hall has plans to turn trash into cash. Minister of Housing says in 2017, things will not be the same as in 2016. In the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, passage of FATCA bill blocked by one major obstacle. And internationally, multiple states challenge President Trump's immigration order.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel, as well as our website, safetvguyana.com. Join us. There is a movement that has been launched against the implementation of parking meters in Georgetown, and they are calling for citizens to deprive Smart City Solutions from making money. Andrew Weeks reports that City Mayor Patricia Chase Green says the group has been misinformed and will not prevail.
Speaking with City Mayor Patricia Chase Green via the telephone, the MAPM, organized by Rupnath, Dion Singh, Marcel Gasking and Dr. Raquel Thomas Caesar, who plans to ensure the campaign to starve the city or cut off the air that they are breathing. The supporters of the movement against parking meter are also lobbying for a boycott of the parking meter zones, encouraging persons to park outside of the zones and walk to their destination instead. But Mayor Patricia Chase Green, in a comment via the telephone, lashed out the intention of the group to deplete the city of funds.
What the parking meter company would have done since it came to Georgetown and to Guyana as a whole and invested its money, it would have employed no less than about 40 persons already. So there are 40 lives that have been, young people that have been employed. If we want to disrupt the lives of those young people suddenly, because people think that the contract was not transparent, when it was full participation of the council, we went through those stages. And the media also carried that.
The group, in a Stabrook News article on Wednesday, claimed that the project was not tendered. Persons are not seeing the contract. Even the councillors don't seem to have seen the contract. It is a lot of surprises hidden and are very concerned, Mayor Chase Green replied.
I don't know what's going on. Let me tell you. All councillors that had concerns about parking meter was allowed to view contract, were allowed to read the contract. Some did, some did not. Even when we had amendments to the contract, the entire council participated, including the deputy mayor, made recommendations when the bylaws were to be held, had copies of the bylaws, made recommendations. So it's surprising now that I'm seeing that from him in the media.
The Stabrook News article also stated that the movement began only last Thursday with a WhatsApp group that has now grown up to accommodate over 250 plus members and a snowballing Facebook following which had surpassed 900 likes up to last evening after being created only a day before. Collectively, the members have drafted a petition which they hope will be able to pull the support of at least 5,000 persons within 2 weeks' time. Mayor Green said the movement will not succeed because it is taking a political agenda and not thinking clearly. The mayor also stated that many persons have accepted the parking meter project.
But there are some people who, in the majority, are saying, look, this parking meter is a blessing that comes to Georgetown and coming to Guyana as a whole, because we are able to have less congestion in the streets of Georgetown. We are able to park and do our business more freely, more happily. Some business people are complimenting us. They would have bought spaces for parking. And there are concessions granted to business people and to the banks and all of those places. So those people who are objecting are not aware of what is happening because they are given the wrong information.
The mayor contends that the entire misinformation started when the deputy mayor started a campaign to discredit the parking meter project. The mayor is calling on citizens to give the parking meter project a chance to fulfill its mandate. Andrew Weeks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. It's full speed ahead towards the construction of the first phase of the Linden-Letham Road project. The Ministry of Public Infrastructure will have the assistance of UK aid for the project. The first phase of the project covers approximately 122.5 kilometers of road from Linden to Mabura Hill and the construction of a bridge across the Essequibo River at Kurupurukari River. The phase is being funded by the United Kingdom government through its UK Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership Fund. The plan is currently in the design stage. As part of the collaboration with the UK government, the government of Guyana is seeking to engage a multidiscipline and transport sector experienced consulting firm to assist in the preparation of a two-component capital project. While the proposed road upgrade applies only to one section of the Linden-Letham Road, the capital works on the remaining 331.5 kilometers of the road will be funded by other sources. The remaining capital works would fall under additional phases as well. Meanwhile, the ministry is optimistic about the success of the project. According to Mr. Patrick Thompson, Chief Planning and Transport Officer, construction can commence in as soon as 18 months. Communities outside of Georgetown are benefiting from the decentralization program from the Ministry of Citizenship. Andrew Weeks reports.
Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix told government operative that the offices in Linden, New Amsterdam are about to be set up and that persons in the hinterland were able to apply for birth, marriage and death certificates in their area.
New Amsterdam location. We have gone a stage further in terms of processing the papers. The Linden location, I'm at the initial stage. But we are still on the last year's program where we were dealing with New Amsterdam, Linden. We do some work in Puerto Rico. We're doing some visits to Lethem.
It is the government's plan to see many communities given the opportunity to acquire the services of birth, marriage and death certificates so that persons would not have to travel to a city which is costly and time-consuming.
So while these locations are not the core of the decentralization program, what we're doing is taking the service to as many locations as possible to ensure that the people get the service in the community and they don't have to be traveling to Georgetown and waste a lot of man hours to get a minor service done.
There is also a projected timeline, says the minister, that will see all 10 administrative regions providing with the service of birth, marriage and death certificates, which is the end of the fourth quarter of this year. Many, the minister says, are happy for the service.
They are happy that the service is like within a hand's reach, and they are supporting it. They are coming in their numbers, and I think it is set now for general acceptance and use by others who may not have been familiar with it.
The 2017 national budget, $625 million, has been allocated to the Ministry of Citizenship and Immigration Services. Andrew Weeks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Coming up on Headline News after the break, City Hall has plans to turn trash into cash. And big changes coming in 2017, according to Housing Minister.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Yes, Guyana, it's finally here! The long-awaited Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale is back on Wednesday, 8th February. Get wholesale prices on 3 floors and our 2 Footsteps locations. Yes, no discount card needed to get great savings. It's Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale on Wednesday, 8th February. Footsteps, bringing it all together.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
City Hall will be undertaking a municipal composting project that is expected to significantly boost the council's revenue-generating capacity. The $28 million project is being spearheaded by Sanitation Director at the Georgetown Municipality, Walter Narayan. The project is set to begin pending approval from the Environmental Protection Agency and after the reading of City Council's 2017 budget. The project will initially target 2 municipal markets, Starbrook and Borda. Depending on the success of this project, it will be used as a model by other municipalities in the very near future. The potential returns in the first year is $10 million minus expenses. It has huge revenue-generating potential of $87 million annually, utilizing waste from only 2 markets. He related that these are the types of waste that reach the landfill on a daily basis, so the intention is to take 25 tons of waste and convert it into a municipal compost. The compost would then be marketed as fertilizer. Additionally, in a report compiled by Habib Khan on the composition of waste, it was highlighted that 50% of all waste generated in Georgetown was organic waste. Given this reality, coupled with the fact that Hags Bosch has a lifespan of 15 years, Narayan said that everyone stands to benefit should at least 30% of that waste be diverted from the landfill. City Housing and Planning Authority enforcement arm is in serious trouble. Andrew Weeks reports that the Minister of Housing, Valerie Patterson, says in 2017 things will not be the same as in 2016. Low-income settlements will be regularized, as well as big national housing forums in the first quarter are also planned to address housing issues. The minister was making these remarks at her end-of-year report.
Minister Valerie Patterson told the media that more persons will be employed in 2017 to boost the planning functions of the CHNPA with more enforcement officers.
CHMPA has an enforcement arm, and we're facing major challenges, particularly in squatter settlements. When our officers go on the ground to keep order, they're being threatened with cutlass and guns and all sorts of things. And in many cases, they have to retreat. But CHNPA has to bring order to our housing areas, and therefore, we recognize that we have to boost that department.
As for low-income settlements, the minister said,
we have quite a number of low-income settlements across Guyana, and particularly in Region 4. And I would have said through my discourse throughout the year, of major concern is Sophia, East and West, Rumwell. And there are lots of communities along the East Coast and the East Bank. I've recognized that some of these persons have applications in our system, and so one of our projections is to pay attention to those people.
The National Housing Forum will be massive, says the minister, which will see a lot of business owners coming on board, among others.
The trust to give prominence to planning, awareness, and renewed interest at national, regional, and local levels is critical to the work of CHNPA. In this regard, a national planning forum will be held during the first quarter of 2017 with major stakeholders to initiate dialogue and action to enhance the current fragmented planning framework. Also, as mandated under the Town and Country Planning Act, the CHMPA will initiate and support the preparation of development schemes in collaboration with the LDOs and other key stakeholders to set out objectives and policies to guide the growth and development of communities, whether urban, rural, regional, or other areas.
In the 2017 national budget, $100 million has been allocated for the construction of 115 subsidized housing units and 45 roof and water catchment system subsidies in Regions 1 and 9. Andrew Wicks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Bandits stole more than $12 million in cash and jewelry from two businessmen in two separate robberies on the west and east coast Demerara on Tuesday, police said. Assistant Police Commissioner Leslie James said 5 men attacked the home of a goldsmith at De Willem, West Coast Demerara. The bandits then took the goldsmith and his family inside the house, duct taped them while they searched for valuables. The men stole 20,000 Guyana dollars, about 200 US, and gold jewelry valued at about 6 million Guyana dollars. James said no shots were fired and no one was arrested in connection with the incident that occurred about midday. Around the same time yesterday, an upholsterer and his wife were robbed of 6 million Guyana dollars shortly after she returned to their 31 Chimney Road Chateau Margaux residence. Sources said Indrani Boodoo had just arrived home when two bandits, one of whom was armed, exited a car and pounced on her. They demanded that she hand over the bag, but she tossed it to her husband. They then confronted him, placed the gun to his head, grabbed the bag, and sped away. They escaped in a silver Allion car. Still ahead are regional and international news.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Yes, Guyana, it's finally here! The long-awaited Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale is back on Wednesday, 8th February. Get wholesale prices on 3 floors and our 2 Footsteps locations. Yes, no discount card needed to get great savings. It's Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale on Wednesday, 8th February. Footsteps, bringing it all together.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
And news from the region now. In Trinidad and Tobago, the Banking Association is still hopeful that the FATCA legislation would be passed in Parliament. However, there's a big but that may prevent this passage. C News reports.
The Banking Association is still hopeful that the FATCA legislation would be passed in Parliament. Local banks do have options should the government and the opposition fail to come to an agreement on the tax information and exchange bill and become a non-compliant state in the eyes of the U.S. Peter Christopher explains.
The deadline for the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Agreement soon approaches, and the Banking Association is anxious to know if the government will steer the country towards compliance. At the breakfast seminar discussing FATCA and Common Reporting Standard at the Marriott, the association continued to hold out hope that the Parliament would find the agreement before the February deadline.
We hope that the bill will be passed in Parliament by February, and that's just next month. and all parties will do what is right and in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago.
But the LUT's global leader in FATCA and CRS, Denise Hinsky, explained that should the government fail to honor the intergovernmental agreement, there is another option for banks. Report directly to the United States.
If a country falls off the list, first of all, financial institutions within that country will basically have a period of time, 90 days it appears, to actually go in and register directly with the U.S. government and become a participating foreign financial institution. So it doesn't mean that the financial institution itself will automatically be offsides. It will have the option to go in and, as I said, deal directly with the U.S. government.
This, however, would require banks to hand over information directly to the IRS after consulting with its clients. Their clients do have the options to decline that they share their information with the United States, but they would most likely be asked to cease doing business with the bank. Ms. Hinsky also highlighted that not everyone's information would have to be shared.
If you were to choose to actually enter into the agreement directly with the IRS, you'll be signing a contractual agreement with them, whereby you're agreeing to be governed by the U.S. regulations themselves. You will have a certain period of time in order to implement those rules internally, and hopefully if you've been working along the lines of having to implement the IGA, there won't be too much of a change there. You will have a requirement to withhold on any of your own clients that don't provide the necessary documentation.
The FATCA debate is currently subject to a joint select committee. Peter Christopher, C News.
And internationally, Massachusetts, New York, and Virginia have joined Washington State in launching a legal challenge against U.S. President Donald Trump's immigration order, which he deems necessary to protect the country.
5 days after President Trump signed his controversial executive order on immigration, there's still debate on what it does and doesn't do, whether it violates the U.S. Constitution, and whether it's a ban on Muslims.
That is by nature not a ban.
I understand your point.
It is
The
extreme
president
vetting.
himself called it a ban.
I understand.
Is he confused, or are you confused?
No, I'm not confused. I think that the words that are being
Adding
used
to the efforts of
describe
the
it
White House to
derived
end the
from what
confusion, the head of Homeland Security, John Kelly, he denied the executive order was a ban on Muslims and that it had not been discussed with him prior to its rollout.
People were inconvenienced by this.
We did know the EO was coming. We had people involved in the general drafting of it. Clearly, it was this whole approach was part of what then candidate Trump talked about for a year or two. So we knew all that was coming.
There were protests at airports across the United States as officials implemented the order and detained incoming foreign travelers. Now 4 states, New York, Washington, Massachusetts, and Virginia, are suing the Trump administration. They say it is violating U.S. law on equal rights and the U.S. Constitution's Bill of Rights. Acting Attorney General Sally Yates also questioned the legality of the immigration ban. President Trump responded by sacking her. Jeff Sessions, Trump's pick for the office, is due to fill the vacancy once the Senate has approved his nomination.
And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and SafeTVGuyana.com. You can also tune in at 6:30 Thursday morning for a rebroadcast, and Thursday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast. Thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.